Oh! Oh, yeah. Ben, it's been 3 years. It's probably been 2 years since people have seen the Yippee Cayenne. Why are we in Arizona, and how is this thing still alive?
Yeah, we just opened up a distribution center in Mesa, Arizona. This car was out here for our first Sunday motoring meet, and yeah, the fact that it's still on the road, still exists, is quite a miracle. So we figured we'd take that little content, put it into one long episode so that everybody can enjoy it, and see how this thing has lived quite the journey.
Hope you enjoy, and we'll catch you in Arizona.
Oh, this thing's sick. It's just sight unseen. You need someone to hand you a wrench sometimes, eat some pizza and drink a beer.
This man's tripping. Little oil leak. Tell him it's a 10% Cayenne.
Oh my God.
Yeah, be real with me. How is this thing?
Maybe the last time we see the Cayenne. How's it going, everyone? Ben Morawski here from FCP Euro, and I'm really excited to announce our new build series. Now, for this project, we wanted to do something a little bit different and out of our norm. So you might be wondering, okay, what did you guys build, or what is this all about? And we were really looking for a few specific things. We're looking for something fast. We're looking for something with towing capabilities. We really wanted something that we could take off-road and thrash on, and realistically, it had to be something affordable. Now, there was one car that we found that checked all of those boxes, and that was a 2008 Porsche Cayenne Turbo. Now, you're probably wondering, where's the car? And that's kind of what we're here to talk about. So this series, we're going to show you how we took that Cayenne from this, boring, to this, to this.
No, God, please, no, no, no!
So, as you can probably tell, it's been quite the bumpy road, a little bit wet. But that said, we're really excited to bring you along for this journey on this Cayenne Turbo build. So as with any car project, you really shouldn't take it on yourself. You need someone there to drink pizza.
I can do that.
That's why I brought along my good friend Mike Hidalgo, not for his technical expertise, strictly for his optimism.
Tell me, what are we working with?
A 2008 Porsche Cayenne Turbo, so it's a 957, which is a facelifted Gen 1 Porsche Cayenne. This thing has a 4.8 liter V8 twin turbo engine with like 500 something horsepower. It does 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds, like just ludicrous numbers. Because it's a turbo, it's got air suspension, which I really wanted for towing. It's got PDCC, which is Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control, so it's got independent sway bars. This thing is super capable, 7,800 pound tow capacity. It's the perfect project car. I mean, came off the trailer, sounded friggin' sick.
Okay.
Drove around town, no problems at first. Went to put in sport mode, failure to go into sport mode. Okay. Let the car sit, drive it the next day. Now we've got chassis failure codes. Check engine light pops on. O2 sensors, maybe something simple. I mean, look, this thing's already honestly left me stranded. I had to tow this back from my sister's house. We drove it about an hour and a half away.
So the tow vehicle was towed home.
So not a great start for it.
But nothing shocked now than the full PPI you did on this, right?
Yeah, no, you should always get a PPI in a Porsche, and I did not do that. This was completely an impulse buy. I had the vision, all right, and I saw the car, and it felt right.
We got the pizza, we got the beer, we have the unreliable, untested 10% 957. What do you say we head back to the shop, and you can show me a little bit more about what we're actually getting into?
All right, we're back here at the shop at FCP Euro. We're gonna get the 957 up in the air. We're gonna put an OBD2 reader on it, see what codes it's throwing, why it's got that check engine light, why it left me stranded on the side of the road, why there's oil leaking underneath it, and really make that checklist of things that we know that we're gonna have to do in order to get this thing roadworthy.
Since Ben ignored the Porsche golden rule and didn't get that PPI, we knew we may be in for a bit of a treat. With the car up, we began going through the checklist that our very own Nathan Brown laid out for us. On the front suspension, we looked for any worn out bushings, end links, and ball joints. We pushed and we pried, and for such a heavy car at this mileage, we had expected to see more play than we did, but everything actually checked out.
The same thing went for the rear suspension. The only thing slightly alarming was the amount of rust in the rear control arms. Other than that, the ball joints and bushings were all in good health. Moving over to the brakes, they were clearly in need of a refresh. There's very little pad left and the rotors had some decently formed lips. Since this was a turbo, it came standard with air suspension. The PASM, or Porsche Active Suspension Management, is something I was a bit worried about. As with any air suspension system, it can be quite difficult to trace down and diagnose the exact problem. And since something related to it had already left my family and I stranded, I knew there had to be issues with the system itself. The valve block visually appeared okay, and we couldn't detect any leaks from it. With the codes it was throwing though, it certainly seemed to be electronically malfunctioning. There was no smoking gun as the PASM electric harness didn't appear damaged either, so it still points to an issue within the valve block. The sound and look of the 135,000-mile air compressor showed signs of also needing to be replaced. The air struts themselves appeared okay, and it's fairly uncommon for them to have issues themselves. That said, the system as a whole was going to need addressing before this car would be considered roadworthy.
From there, it was time to drop the lower splash shields and see what we were looking at for our engine and transmission. Here is where a can of worms started to open up a bit on our 10% Cayenne. We had some fluid running from the front of the engine onto the front PDCC sway bar and back to the transmission. After a quick taste test and some more visual inspection, it only appeared to be engine oil, and a good amount of it. With the car running, it wasn't coming out with any sort of volume, and it was difficult to track where it was all actually leaking from. The issue with oil leaks is they spread easily with any sort of driving as the oil slings around. Diagnosing and fixing this will take some more time and patience.
The Porsche Dynamic Chassis Control System, or PDCC, runs off of hydraulic fluid. So we inspected the reservoirs and fluids, which, although stained, looked okay. Now Nate Brown did strike again when we realized the coolant reservoir was cracked and started to slowly leak. At least this gave us a smoking gun for the coolant smell. From there we found an unsavory workaround with the power steering line appearing to be held up with a hair scrunchie. Visually, the transmission looked like it hadn't been serviced or seen the light of day since it rolled off the line in Stuttgart. We recommend servicing this 6-speed Tiptronic transmission every 60,000 miles, so we'll be sure to refresh the fluids, gasket, and filter at the very least. The car feels good when shifting, so I think we may have avoided the somewhat common transmission valve body issues.
Moving up top to the engine, we quickly found an oil leak behind the vacuum pump, which was a good sign in terms of some of the lean condition codes that it had been throwing. That also alluded to finding cracked vacuum hose lines, which helped explain why our brakes felt so squishy. That potentially was our leak, but the vacuum pump is in the rear of the engine and we definitely have oil traveling to the front, so not very likely. Another common wear part is the torque mount, which we found the bushing to be torn as expected. Now, we could tell at some point the valve covers had been oily and wiped down. What we weren't sure of is if it had its gaskets replaced, then wiped down, or if it was the dealership we bought it from that gave it a little spit shine. We pulled the spark plugs and found them to be oily, leading us to believe we had a potential PCV issue or some spark plug gaskets that still needed to be done.
Last in my list of worries was the exterior of the vehicle. Here, it showed some normal 12-year wear, with a small crack in the front bumper, a cracked rear panel roof, which I think actually happened during shipping, and some awkward missing chunks of the running boards, which did appear to be completely rusted out. Now, Cayennes are notorious for having side skirts filled with gallons of water, but I can only imagine this car was guilty of that at one point of its life. There was certainly some rust throughout, but overall the car really was in good shape for the years and mileage. That said, it's going to be an off-road vehicle, so any flaws are really just added character. Things started to really make sense how you can get a $113,000 car for $13,000 12 years later. Luckily, a lot of what we found was pretty much to be expected and all very doable with a buddy, some tools, and a bunch of parts from the FCP Euro website.
Ben, now that I know what we've gotten into, it's not that bad. Honestly, I'm here to be optimistic. It's a 12-year-old vehicle. It's got typical 12-year-old wear. We can get this done.
That's very fair. I mean, a lot of our checklist is honestly things that I probably would have wanted to do no matter what. There's a little bit of troubleshooting that we're gonna have to do. There's a little bit of weariness on some of the oil leak situation in the air suspension, but I think we're gonna be in a good spot.
I agree.
I think we can basically take that checklist, make a cart on the website, order a bunch of stuff, and start wrenching.
Walk into the warehouse.
Yeah, walk into the warehouse and start wrenching on this thing.
Let's do it.
So hopefully you're excited for this build coming up. I'm obviously super stoked on it. Mike's probably gonna hate me in like 2 weeks.
Welcome back, my good people, to our 957 10% project today. What is all this that we have going on the ground?
We've got a lot going on in front of us. We need to completely refresh this 135,000 mile, 13-year-old Porsche Cayenne. So we've got the full FCP Euro treatment going on here. So we've got all of our basic maintenance stuff. So we're going to be refreshing the transmission, the differential, transfer case, oil change, obviously. We don't know when any of that stuff has last been done to this.
You keep saying we, but if I remember, you said, I'm here for moral support, pizza and beer. I don't see the pizza and I don't see the beer.
It's early, man. It's like 9 a.m. I'll get you lunch, but I need some help because we realistically have to do this within the next 3 days.
And film DIYs?
Yeah, and we actually would like to make DIYs for all these things too. So, you know, in the last episode, we kind of showed some of the things that we know are wrong with the car. So 2 of the major things are in front of us that I really hope fix some of those problems. One of which being the vacuum pump. Me and vacuum pumps have a history. Like, I think you should change the vacuum pump on any car. Every time you do an oil change, just change your vacuum pump. As a mini R56 owner, I've had it cost me like 3 engines. The other thing is, obviously, this air suspension has left me stranded already. We have to drive this car to North Carolina in 3 days. I don't know if we left that part out, but we really need to be roadworthy. I'm kind of nervous about the air suspension situation. We have the valve block there, which has a sensor in it. And I think that's some of the ride height sensor issues / things not turning off and blowing hoses off situation. So hopefully that fixes that problem. Realistically, it's not a project if there's not a stupid deadline that you're trying to hit. And
yeah, this isn't even reality TV, and here we are, 3 days out.
So you start with brake stuff, I'll start with engine stuff. We'll kind of divvy up the work and hopefully we get it done.
Let's do it, baby.
The 957 Turbo came with massive 6-piston Brembos with 390mm rotors from the factory. Now, given the fact that this vehicle will be used for long trips, towing a trailer and car, as well as fully armored like a tank, we expect to put those to good use. Lucky for us, our Zimmerman rotors and Techstar pads obviously come with our FCP Euro lifetime replacement guarantee, making the inevitably frequent brake jobs on this truck all the more reasonable to maintain.
For fluids, we gave the diffs and transfer case some fresh Licomoly ATF, and we expect to do this every 60,000 miles or so. They're all super easy to access and maintain. We hope to put these tips to work on the North Carolina and Colorado mountains soon. My taping was too superior. It was not supposed to come off.
All right, after some minor surgery to get the barbed piece out from the old one.
Oh yeah, baby. Ow, freaking hurt.
Did you punch that thing?
Yeah, I punched this thing. Look at that. Not even my car. Oh, she's having a baby? This ain't even my car. What movie is that?
Oh, so she having a baby right now? I guess I better get to the hospital then, huh?
Oh yeah. Why you gotta be so mean? Bam. In like jam. That was bad. This one was the worst one. And these O-rings are pretty wasted. So either way, an upgrade, definitely not a downgrade.
We couldn't quite tell where the oil was coming from, but we did know that it was pooling at the oil filter cap. So we grabbed a new one off the shelf and replaced it while doing the fluids, with hopes there was an issue with the way that it was seating.
This man's tripping. Little oil leak. Tell him it's a 10% Cayenne.
We also took that time to throw in some Molygen, with the idea that the green glow could help us spot the culprit of the leak. Molygen will solve all of this.
Molygen will literally fix this.
Now the next day, we began some of the actual work in the engine bay. This started with removing all the accessories up top, including the intake manifold and valve covers.
What do you see?
Not much, honestly.
Good.
I mean, we see some oil, which I think is probably either from the PCV or just the gaskets around the intake manifold. You can see there's a good amount of oil kind of around there, but I don't think that has anything to do with our oil leak because it doesn't look that bad. As with normal modern DI engines, not that this engine isn't modern, you're used to hearing about walnut blasting your valves and lots of carbon buildup, and this is no different. They look like they have 135,000 direct injection miles on them. A little toasty. Don't see coolant anywhere really. So kind of expected to see it all pulled up on the bottom here, and I really don't. I mean, that's good. It's one less thing to replace. But again, we're kind of looking for some smoking guns here.
Much later.
What's the update, Governor?
We're removing both valve covers right now, both to do the valve cover gaskets and the spark plug gaskets and vacuum pump. The rearmost bolts on both valve covers, which you can barely squeeze a finger into. So we're both at those bolts on each side. Likeliness of us stripping them pretty high. Likeliness of us not getting them out and getting pissed off, also pretty high.
I'm still waiting on the beer to show up.
Much later.
All right, Mike, what did you use? What was the play?
We used a 1/4-inch drive bit T40 with a baby wobble extension on a 1/4-inch ratchet, and we used a 13mm socket and an extension as our breaker bar to break the bolt free or strip it. We haven't seen it yet, so we're still gonna keep working at it. Oh baby!
I got it. I mean, this has obviously been replaced. There's blue RTV, which is not normal Porsche RTV. That said, these gaskets seem like they're probably replaced. So we've been talking about the valve or the vacuum pump all this time. If you look down here at the vacuum pump, nice and sludgy underneath there. So feel pretty good about the fact that we're going to be replacing that, and that will hopefully get rid of our evap code finally, our P2404, which points to vacuum pump.
It's gonna look like we do all the wrenching on this thing.
Not what it's about, Mike. I do. Do you want to swap?
Nope.
We figured we'd get the camera rolling before we strip this bolt out. We've been going at this bolt for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. I finally feel kind of confident with where I'm at on it, but the angle of this extension is not great. Teamwork makes a dream work. Of course, it's a team effort, dude. We're on it, all right? Just trying to break it with a little toothpick.
Hit it.
Yeah. It made the sound of breaking.
It did.
Let's freaking go, dude.
Let's freaking go, bro.
That's a huge win.
Oh, baby. That's the last one?
That's the last one.
That's the last one.
Holy smokes.
Last one out, first one in.
With the valve covers off, we were able to get a good view of the vacuum pump situation. Now that we knew it was clearly leaking, it made even more sense to swap it out with a new one, especially with easy access to the bolts.
Which are still kind of hard to get even with everything off. You can see this concoction we've got going on here with a wobble head into a wobble extension into a wobble ratchet. It did break free though.
That broke free?
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't realize that. Is that your last one?
No, I still gotta get the one in the abyss.
1 hour later.
This is probably a lot cleaner because we already brake cleaned the crap out of it. All the holes are nice on this one.
No.
Sounds perfect. Sounds perfectly healthy.
Here's definitely leaking. I mean,
It's pretty flat comparatively. My good people. We're ready to install our new one. We cleaned up our mess. Got a little bit of oil dripping down the back of the block when the old one came out. So I'm gonna try to put this back in. I lined up the 2 ears on this gear so that it feeds itself back into the cam in the same position that our old one came out. And then we're gonna have to line up these bolt holes and get some bolts fed through it and torque it down. We're gonna try. I'm probably gonna drop this. We should have kept those pans in place.
Mike, you want to give a tidbit of what not to do when you pull a vacuum pump out?
Yeah, when you take an old vacuum pump out, don't instantly go to check it and spin it unless you want to suffer and figure out how to key in the new one.
Much later.
2 out of 3 is good, right?
Yeah.
2 out of 3 bolts, we don't need the bottom one. How you don't lose the bolt in case it doesn't get threaded in and makes it in the first time. I'm having deja vu. Like I've dreamt this before. Like I've done this, but I just don't remember what the end dream result was. Yeah, Mike, you want to be my optimistic guy? You're just not here for your technical ability. You're here for your optimism.
Is this still optimism?
You're here for your optimism, pizza, and beer.
Make sure when you're brake cleaning your valve cover, you let your friends know so they stop throwing their lunches on top of it. Stuff their lunch with is moved.
From there, we moved on to reassembly, starting with replacing all of the valve cover and spark plug gaskets. I went ahead and replaced the spark plug tube seals.
Which were honestly not the main worry, but the main culprit of some leakage.
We went ahead and did our other seal up here. I just forgot the
sensor?
name. Yeah. And then last I have this actual valve cover gasket to do. Before I put our new one in, I'm going to clean all these channels up. I'm going to get off all this old RTV.
Right, one of the last things to do is prep the intake manifold. So we're removing the old gaskets, which are pretty stiff, pretty crappy. Clean up the bottom of the intake manifold as it's got a bunch of buildup and debris. And then this is ready to go back in. We can button up the rest of the engine. Okay, so I just finished buttoning up the engine, and I mean, for the most part, I left a few things off, like I didn't put the covers for the coil packs on because I know that I need to replace the O-ring. I had to order a new O-ring. Hope that we didn't mess something up. I don't think we did, but that said, going to start the engine, see how it sounds, let it run for a little bit, check for leaks, and go from there. Well, that's good. Looks like that piece of plastic, I thought that may have fallen into the head. Didn't. No sudden lockup of the cams. Another thing that we're pretty happy about. Yeah. I'm gonna probably put the car up, let it run for a little bit. Maybe our leak is taken care of. Maybe it was just a vacuum pump running down the back of the block. It's gonna be hard to tell. We're gonna need to drive the car some bit.
Later that same evening.
Look who's rolling up. Well, well, well. All changed up, looking fresh, nice dinner.
Yeah, I have to get dinner for myself. No freaking pizza, no freaking beer. You're lucky I came back.
Hear this? This is the freaking music of a fourth generation Porsche owner.
Can we afford this on YouTube?
I don't know if Beethoven's coming after people. We're kind of on the last leg for taking care of the problems. No more lean codes. I did have a check engine light in the middle of a safety pull, which I was just trying to see if I could get the engine codes to pop. And then just a bunch of chassis faults.
Which we're going to fix right now.
I still wouldn't go into sport mode. Oh yeah, and it's still leaking oil. We just want to get this thing down to North Carolina so we can put all the cool stuff on it.
We're coming Euro-wise. It's just Ben and his trusty friend, the Autel, for the whole trip. No one else.
That's all I need. To me, when you start on projects, it's nice to do some easy things, right? So
we started with the hardest things first.
The oil leak is freaking me out, so I'm going to do the evap issue that I think this should take care of. You can see here that this is all cracked, the seal, so why not go grab a new one off the shelf? Definitely one of the bonuses of having an entire distribution center and working at FCP Euro right behind you.
You have that on the dash right there. That's going to go away with this new cap. Leave
Not
a comment below
that
if you think Ben's going to solve all his worries with this fuel cap. Bam, baby. Oh, yeah.
One problem fixed.
Solved. What's next? We're going to work on trying to put that little rocker quarter piece on for Ben while he's having dinner. He's feeling a little bit down about the Cayenne and its potential trip to North Carolina, so I figured if he comes back and he sees that the rocker panel piece is back on, he might feel a little bit better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up these edges, and I'm going to try to use a little bit of two-step epoxy. Is that what you call it? Whatever, that's what we're going to call it. Lay a nice bead around it and see if we can glue it onto something. We got our rocker piece back in. At a quick glance, can't even tell it's taped on. If you get up and close and personal, we get some race car style tape job going on here. Yeah, I figured if it comes off, it'll be held on by one of these pieces. And if it comes off completely and it's gone, well then it's gone. Can't be worse. You're welcome, Ben.
Later that same evening.
Also, cosmetic thing, we should probably finally epoxy that stupid side sill thing on.
What stupid side thing? This guy pays no attention to the work I do, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, you taped it?
I mean, you had to look closely for it.
Oh my god.
That's a race car fix if I've ever seen one. How many times have you done this?
I was just gonna say, this is my least favorite. And the fact that I have to always look at this.
Why didn't we get a new one?
I don't know. Someone grab a part number on that, please.
I'm so sick of seeing this freaking cap. Every freaking DIY that we do. It's embarrassing. Look at that thing. That thing's drunk. Half of it's missing. Let me grab some water. Now, between you and I know that if Ben looks at that engine bay one more time and sees that cap, he's gonna freak out just the way I'm about to. But at the same time, if we just replace the cap, I mean, you saw how happy he was after seeing the fixed rocker panel. Just imagine how happy he's gonna feel when he sees a fresh cap on his windshield washer reservoir. So let's grab one. Oh yeah, baby. I think I figured out why the Cayenne's leaking.
Why?
I was thinking maybe it's from the people filling the oil and missing. You popped the hood, you saw what this looked like, and you've addressed almost everything but one thing, and it's just retaliating. You need this.
Oh, we actually stocked these?
Yeah.
Shit, thanks, dude.
You're welcome. You paid for it.
I was just about to say, it's like the cheapest thing that we've had to buy on this car, but definitely not. So the part of the plan we haven't talked about is that I may also pick up a new trailer while I'm down there. And I don't want to say like foreshadowing, but I could see us renting a truck and trailer this thing home.
You did it. One take. One shot.
Dude, this is an 11% Cayenne now. That looks so much. I can't believe. I don't know why I didn't just check the site to see if we had one. I was just like, there's no way we would stock that. Because it's so miscellaneous, but that looks damn good. We're taking small wins where we can get them.
The following Thursday.
All right, so we're about to start doing the stuff underneath the car to hopefully deal with our air suspension issue. I've got resident air suspension expert Kyle Baskin with me.
Cool. So everyone, let me take you onto the car for a moment. First thing that happened is he had an airline pop off of his air compressor. The Cayenne has a really cool system for tire inflation. There's a fitting right under the seat. It runs off the head of the compressor. So that fitting popped off. We got it back on. We also replaced the suspension compressor relay that was sticking, causing the compressor to run continuously. And the last problem that we have has to do with this guy right here that's called the air suspension valve block assembly. Ben's got some codes for implausible system pressures. The pressure sensor for the air suspension system is actually inside of this guy and located right behind the compressor over here. So that's what we're going to tackle today. And if you ever have to do your compressor, just a couple of bolts right here. Everything is super accessible.
It's not uncommon to have them electronically fail, and with the faulty readings that we were getting, it made sense that this was the culprit.
Dude, like me and electrical connectors, as long as I've come close, I'm gonna say I have given up on jobs.
You watched any of our DIYs before?
Sometimes you just gotta burn down the car.
Sometimes you gotta push them back in and push them and then pull them apart. Told you you'd get it.
Yeah, dude, I'm over electrical connectors. I just don't understand why they have to be such.
As long as you don't treat your piece like a piece, you'll be good. Oh, Jesus doesn't love you. Yeah, drop this guy down. Use the weight of the scissor jack.
Yeah, be real with me. How is this thing?
It's actually not at all. This is all very common. I got an old car kind of problems. That's all. Wait. Oh, I'm still on camera. I gotta go. I'm out of here.
Bye.
Later.
"48 hours later."
So remember that valve block we were excited about installing? And it did actually sort of fix some problems. We're undoing all of that. Now that the valve block was properly functioning and reading the correct level sensors to adjust, the tired old air compressor was simply not cut out for the job. All right.
Yeah, baby.
So we've got our old funky compressor. Looks like the OE unit.
Yeah.
She's seen better days, and we're gonna swap this out for our new Wabco one.
Let's swap it out. Did you get any bushings? Good.
What is going on here?
It's torn.
You'll be right.
Yeah, I've seen worse. This is worse. This is now. And we got it? You ever watch my DIYs? I suggest you push in, push on the thing, and pull out. Except this one doesn't want to.
Oh my god.
Alright, we got torque specs. They're in Spanish, don't worry, I'll translate.
Will you put us in sport mode?
Or will you leave us on the side of the road?
We swapped over brackets, bushings, and airlines to the new unit and reinstalled it on the car.
It's as far as the other one was in. Okay. Bam, baby. Nice, baby. Once that was in, we had officially taken care of the chassis system faults. And now we had a very happy, self-leveling, low or high Cayenne able and willing to go into sport mode. From here, things really started to look up and North Carolina was in our sights.
That looks better.
That looks much better.
Sometimes, you know, you gotta try and...
Looks Porsche.
You guys gotta give me one of those.
It's sick. It's literally perfect.
How much does that thing cost?
Too much, pal. You gotta ask. It's too much. I just want to say this is the first time I've had pizza this whole freaking build series. Been doing this thing. I've been sleeping here for like 5 days straight. It's the first time I get fed, and it's the first time I get pizza. No beer though.
So I'm already slightly concerned because it passed the DME. I know I cleared these codes maybe 50 miles ago, but it's still kind of weird.
They have no codes?
Yeah. It's suspect. Doesn't make sense. I mean, I'll tell you one code I have.
What's that?
Freaking oil leak, dude. No code needed. Just eyeballs. Happy with the sound the compressor is making compared to the old one.
Yeah. It sounds fine.
Insert old compressor sound here.
Here, watch, will it blend? It's literally what it sounded like, but underneath the Cayenne.
Level control fault. That's old.
The compressor sounds really good.
It does, I'm not gonna lie.
It
The
really
Wabco, fresh off the shelf, looked like $1 million. Sounds like $1 million. So far has pumped the car up like $1 million.
Right now, this thing is pumping like 100% Cayenne. I mean, say it's working like one. It's pumping it like one.
Ooh.
Oh, snap. Look at that, baby. That's a first.
Let's freaking go, dude.
All right, what do you say we put the skid plate back on, run the Autel with us, and rip this thing and see what happens. Oh man, dude, look at this thing. I don't think I've seen this much wheel well gap since 2008 when this thing was brand new back on the lot.
I know we weren't recording, but basically it went in and out of sport mode with no errors, which it would do occasionally before, but this seemed very casual, in and out. No chassis failures yet. Compressor still sounds good. We hit some speed bumps. We took it up to speed, in and out of modes. So far, so good. There's no doubt that that compressor was shot,
That thing was shot.
and that we just put in a brand new one.
It's ready to rock, baby.
Yeah, we're getting into better shape. So
All right.
she's coming back.
Good night, Cayenne.
All right,
Until-
hopefully next time we see you guys, we're not as tired and we're not sitting in the Cayenne in our parking lot. Instead, hopefully we are on the road somewhere, whether it's to make this thing an off-road beast or to head out west, or I don't know, doing something fun and not just trying to get it back.
Or
to
picking
like,
up food for real this time.
for real. That'd be nice. But all right, we're gonna go to bed. It's time. It's time for the Cayenne to leave. I did just top it off with oil.
That's good. That's
so
normal
nice.
before a road trip.
Every time I get gas, I'll just top off. But yeah, I think it's ready to go. License plate's legal. Oh,
Oh, you put it on.
easy pass. Rip.
Thanks a lot, JR.
All right, let's go.
Let's go. Dude, we got freaking plenty of fuel over here.
Plenty of fuel. Yeah, we're 0 for 3 on this exit, and this is the biggest exit we've seen in like 100 miles. This lady wants to use our car as an experiment.
We picked a bad day for a road trip.
Well, we came here to this gas station. They weren't getting gas, so they want us to experiment and put our credit card in and see if we got gas. Pumping premium. The other one was regular only. I don't know how you go from not having gas to having like 12 instant gallons of premium.
She made it, baby.
Let's go. I tell you what, these valve covers aren't leaking. Doesn't smell like coolant like it did when we went to leave last time.
Windshield washer reservoir cap is good.
We should probably put some cardboard underneath it. I bet you it's gonna maybe be a spot. No, I think we're fine. I think the oil leak's actually gone.
Yeah.
And that's why we came down here, because we fully prepped the car like we should have. And why would there be issues? So, all right. Now we're gonna make the car look cool. We should probably get food, maybe some sleep. I have a feeling we're gonna be working on the car all day tomorrow.
It's early still.
We're
gonna go explore.
For you. Where we at?
We are at Eurowise Performance in North Carolina, finally.
Hey, I'm Mike, owner of Eurowise. We're located in Charlotte, North Carolina. We specialize in European automotive service, performance, and fabrication. The bulk of my business is European repair, but then I also have a side business where we do a lot of online parts, where we fabricate and manufacture anything from Volkswagen Rabbit engine conversions to Porsche and Volkswagen lift kits and full-blown overland builds. So we do a little bit of everything. You know, there's 21 of us. You know, we just all have a passion for European cars, have a passion for working on cars, and you know, a group of us love doing performance work. So as of last year in March, we started doing overland builds. I bought a Cayenne for myself and built a lift kit for it. Then after that, started making rock sliders. And then from there, we just kind of grown to a full catalog of overland products, you know, from rock sliders to, you know, skid plates to tubular bumpers and, you know, full suspension kits. So that's kind of where we're at today. So Ben's here today. We're going to do a complete underbody protection kit along with the tubular front bumper and our 2-inch lift kit. And our goal is to have this thing all installed and ready to go, and then take it to RE National Park tomorrow and get some action shots and some photos of the car on the trails.
We are removing the lower half of the front bumper to fit our tubular front bumper. This whole plastic piece gets taken off. Replacing this plastic with a bunch of steel, so it's a ton of weight saving.
What are you fishing for?
There's a better...
The socket that I dropped?
Flexi magnet in the top drawer.
Now I dropped the magnet.
A big flexi magnet.
Oh boy. Bro,
You got
bro,
both?
twofer.
Hell yeah.
Nailed it.
So the factory reinforcement bar, or beam, you could say, it has these tangs that actually go in and hold and secure the factory radiator in place. We duplicated the same style bracket, so it essentially goes in just like factory and holds the radiator in place just like stock. So essentially it's complete bolt-on. So we got the front bumper all installed. Trim a little bit of the shroud to attach some of the pieces. Otherwise, the whole entire thing is plug and play. We got our 2-inch air suspension lift installed. We included 1/2-inch subframe drops. It's not necessary to have them. When you drive in off-road mode, it does put the axles in an extreme angle. So we included 1/2-inch subframe drops this time just to fix the actual geometry when off-roading. We're about to install these air suspension links. We've 3D printed these to correct the had air suspension leveling arms. When lifting the car, it actually does throw the sensors back out of range. So when we install these arms, it corrects everything back into the proper measurements.
What happened?
So, being a northern car, little ball for the level sensor was all rusted and corroded. And then when you put our new links on, it was tight to move. And when that happens, as your control arm goes up and down, it tends to break the level sensor arm because it doesn't allow it to pivot freely. So if you have a little bit of rust on it, clean it up, put some lube on it, and it should spin freely.
Old one.
Yeah. Should look like that.
While the guys finished up the suspension modifications, lucky for us, our wheels and tires had arrived. For wheels, we went with something unique and beefy, a set of GCO1s by 463 Industries. Now, as with any wheel choice, they're only as good as the tire you wrap them in. For that, we went with a 265/65/18 Falcon Wild Peak AT. This size felt perfect for the look and practicality that we were after, and it's actually the size that the factory Trans-Siberia cars ran. Now, the Wild Peaks offer the perfect blend of all-terrain look and capability without any road noise or softness in the steering that you can get from other all-terrain tires.
Oh, easy, dude.
But these are lightweight. You could actually crossfit with these.
Now that the bumper is back on and the wheels and tires are mounted, it's time to turn this Cayenne into a twin-turbo tank. To do this, we're adding steel protection to each and every vulnerable point on this giant German SUV. Differentials, transfer case, oil pan, transmission, gas tank, the list goes on. And all these things are getting the full armor package. The last piece of this solid steel puzzle is adding proper rock sliders for when the Cayenne inevitably finds itself in a predicament. Without rock sliders, there's no safe way to drag across a rock or obstacle without damaging the car itself. Now, although all of this adds quite a bit of weight to the vehicle, knowing that we'll be putting this Cayenne to the test in our journeys to come, it's a no-brainer to take these precautions ahead of time.
What are you doing?
Finally being put to work.
How freaking time.
Day of guilt. I'm not touching that. Oh, we're gonna build this rack real quick. Oh, I say real quick. It looks real quick. It looks pretty straightforward. So it goes every other.
Yeah, because the front fairing has to go on this one.
I gotcha.
What do you think, dude?
What the F? What just happened? I mean, talk about transformation in like 8 hours?
Not even.
Slightly guilty? Like, Mike and I came down here.
If I were you, I'd be very
100%
guilty.
planning to turn wrenches.
I just came for barbecue and beer.
Well, so then you've done your job.
I did my job.
I planned to turn a wrench all day, and Mike, Scott, Keith, they just ripped through this thing. Well, holy
This is no longer a 10% Cayenne, my friend. This is so cool. This is beyond the Cayenne's realm of whatever they ever imagined these things becoming.
So we're going tomorrow to the Uhari. We're gonna actually run this thing on some trails with our VAG Porsche off-road friends. I mean, the 10-hour trip was one thing, but probably 2 hours on trails might be way more abusive than the 10-hour cruise down. Thing looks freaking sick. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, the team here.
Thank you, Eurowise.
And
FCP Euro for letting us come down
I'm
here.
stoked that they decided to team up with us at FCP Euro for this build. It's people like this in the community that make this something that people want to be a part of. So hopefully we make it back to Connecticut bound tomorrow. But yeah, sick. I love it. Due to the drastic geometry modifications we did to the Cayenne, we made a quick stop at Mike's buddy's shop to dial in an alignment before heading to the forest.
What are we doing now?
I think we're going to go hit some trails. So alignment's done. We fixed some of the shake we were getting from the wheels because we didn't have the proper hub-centric rings. And yeah, maybe grab some gas and then go rip.
Let's go rip, baby.
These are basically preset to whatever pressure you want your air pressure to drop at, and once you achieve that certain pressure, it stops letting air out. Rule of thumb is you set the pressure to like around like what wheel size you have. So I usually set mine to around like 18, 19 psi. Trails that we're gonna do today aren't as aggressive as needed, so I'll probably leave it like around like 18, 19.
All right, boys, first impressions.
That's fantastic.
It's just, we're like on super simple trails. It's so silly. I was so afraid to like back this thing out of my driveway a week ago. It's perfect for a full car too. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Oh, yeah, baby. 480. Where is he?
It's all the way down there. This man's gonna sleep like a rock tonight.
That's why we put armor on it, I guess. Should I creep up to it and then go?
Yeah, creep up to it just to get some traction. But once you get to it, you're gonna have to have some power to get up it.
That is so stressful. I thought like going like 140 into a sweeper stressful. That's freaking stressful, man.
That's sick.
My heart's racing. So I'm not used to those noises. Like, that is.
You hear a lot of popping and clicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of popping.
You already scraped her up a little bit, so you're good.
All right.
Yeah, she's earned some of her stripes.
I'm not gonna lie. It feels a bit surreal to see the transformation of our 10% Cayenne in what was essentially overnight. It was only a week before that we had a car that I couldn't trust to go grab lunch down the street. And now here we are, 750 miles away, tackling some off-road trails in Uharry. In the same way that a race car feels at home going 10/10ths on a racetrack, the Cayenne invokes that same exact feeling, but on a trail. Utilizing its air suspension, locking diffs, and all of its Porsche tech. And I think before this, it likely lived a lifetime of hauling kids and groceries around town. It felt at home. Now, even without all the new Eurowise parts we installed in the Cayenne, you start to realize how much Porsche really put into engineering the capabilities of this SUV. That said, with the additional protection, its new look, and practicality of our new parts, in conjunction with it running so well off of a refresh back at FCP Euro, this project feels like it's finally starting to come along. It's passed its first 2 tests, with only 2 more to come. After spending a few hours on the trails, it was time to air back up and drive the 750 miles back to FCP Euro HQ in Connecticut. In most purpose-built off-road vehicles, this probably wouldn't have been the most enjoyable journey. But one of the best parts of the Cayenne platform is the simple fact that it can come off of the trails and quickly transform into a classy, comfortable car ready to cruise the highway on any long trip. Although things were looking up, we still had a lot of work ahead of us with the overland and tow rig portion of this project left to go.
You ready to hit the road?
Now I am. Yeah, it says 9 hours and 54 minutes.
After trailing for a little bit, we have an average of 8.0. Let's see what we can bring it up to.
Tune in next week for a wild episode of Yippee Cayenne you won't want to miss. If you like this episode, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We'll see you on the next one.